Got that. Hello. Uh, can everyone hear me? Yes, brilliant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. So guys, I'm Param, and I think, and apparently I'm your faculty for the next hour or so. We are going to be talking about how a media company manages a brand. But before that, just a quick introduction. Uh, I take care of. So okay, so I actually had the good fortune of kind of uh, good fortune of working at companies like Google, Hotstar, eBay, and now Voot for the past like 10 years. And yeah, I think so that you guys can see the slides properly, I'm just gonna switch off the webcam. If you're not able to hear me, then just let me know through the chat, and we'll take care of that. So, how do I switch off the webcam? Stop. Yes. Yeah. So, can everybody still hear me? Awesome. Okay. So, we'll quickly start. So, guys, uh, I think the brief was that how does a media company basically manages brands, right? How does a media company builds brands? So what I'm going to do today is take you through the journey of Voot, which is part of the digital ventures branch of Viacom 18, and uh, so that basically the inception of Voot. How was Voot, like created? Why was Voot created? uh, what did we do to build Voot as a brand that it is today, right? Um, cool. So before that, we'll just talk a little bit about Viacom 18. What is Viacom 18? So how do I change the? Yeah, right. Uh, so Viacom 18 Network was founded in November 2007. It's a 50-50 joint venture operation between the Network 18 group and uh, the Viacom International group. It's got about 21 different brands. It has got content across languages, uh, and Voot is basically the newest addition in the Viacom 18 kitty, where which is a which is basically a part of the digital ventures unit of Viacom 18. Let's move on. So okay, yeah. So we'll start by talking about why Voot was formed. Viacom 18 is a so Viacom 18 is a huge network, very profitable business one of the biggest media giants in the country, right? So then, why was there a need to, and they've got a very profitable, like TV business. So why was there a need even to kind of have a product like Voot, right? So we'll talk about that. So there are a couple of um, factors uh, in that. We'll start with the consumers. We'll start with the digital, like consumers. So the digital subscriber base of internet grew from March 30, grew by about 200% from March 2013 to March 2016. So the number of people who are coming onto internet is increasing, like has been increasing at a phenomenal rate. The number of broadband connections have been increasing at a rate of like 10x in the same period. So basically, a lot of people are moving online, right? Now let's go one step deeper. Data consumption. So this is data consumption in India in petabytes, which is 1,000 terabytes, right? Again, the data consumption has been increasing, like has increased from financial year 13-14 to 15-16 by 300% again. So people are not just going online; people are using more and more data online, right? Let's go one step deeper. Uh, Advertiser spends, digital advertiser spends. So this shows, um, yeah. So basically, this shows the advertiser spends that have happened in India over different, like channels. So TV, radio, newspaper, magazine, cinema, outdoor. Uh, so if you see here, the so although the TV spends are the highest, which takes, which take the maximum pie, about 47%. Newspaper is second highest, 30%. But the growth in the digital spend is the highest. Digital, whereas on one side TV is growing by, like about 18%, digital is growing by 50%, almost, like 45-50%. So huge growth happening online in the advertising spends, right? Uh, and next, let's go one level deeper. Out of the digital spends, how much of this is on video, right? So from the year 2012 to the year 2016, again, the digital, I mean, you guys have seen the digital spends increase by 3x. Out of this, the pie of video has been increasing again. So whereas the out of the whole digital spend, only 5% of spend used to happen on video in 2012. In 2016, almost, like 20% spend is happening on digital video, right? And in by the year, like 2020, this spend will probably go up to 30%. So digital spends are growing, and within digital spends, the money which is spent on video ads is also growing, right? So looking at all these things, uh, it basically, I mean, it makes it very, like clear that the money is, like coming on digital, and not just digital but also digital video. So this kind of makes sense to have a product, have a, like have an online, product for the future. So what we saw just now was that all the money is kind of moving to, to digital and digital video. Now there was another there was basically also another need gap, and there's another. Am I still? Yeah, sure. Rahul, I think you have a question. The no, so I no, no, this is not just media. This is not just media. Yeah. This is overall digital spends, I think, and within that, video ads take it now. Right? Yeah, cool. Okay, so that was the money part of it. That was the money aspect of it. Now, there's another need gap. So Viacom 18 and all, so Viacom 18 basically has a lot of these, like channels, and all these channels had different websites. All the content was was there. So like the MTV content was there on an MTV website. The Colors content was on the Colors website. Similarly, different channels had content which was kind of like fragmented, right? So there was a then a lot of the content was also on YouTube, right? So Voot, became a solution where all the content of all Viacom, like of the entire network could be put on Voot. So currently, if you look at it, none of these websites have any like content, like have any network content online. All the content has been removed from like from YouTube, because YouTube came with some problems. So with YouTube, if you search for a particular roadies episode, let's say, now it's not just the MTV site which uploads the roadies episode, but also there are some other users who will kind of like copy the content and upload it. So it gets very hard for like it used to get very hard for people to find that content, to find the right content on YouTube. So with Voot, that problem was solved. Right now, Voot has is the only place online where all the Viacom 18 content is kept, right? So basically, it solved the problem of difficult discoverability, haphazard content, no proper distribution. There were multiple imposters who used to, like upload the content on YouTube. Lack of control with all the content on Voot. The network gets more control over the content. So basically, Voot solves a genuine need gap here. Yeah. So now, because of all these reasons, Viacom 18 decided to invest in an online solution or an online product. So Voot is not like a product for now. Voot is basically the pro. Voot is basically an investment for the future. Okay. Now we come on to what exactly is Voot, what is the different kind of content that is there on Voot, and what did we do to build the exactly, yeah, Ravi, like TVF exclusively on a single website. Yeah. Uh, okay. So, okay, now we come to what is Voot and what did we do to kind of build the Voot brand. So, the what of the equation. Let's first start with what is India watching here. Uh, so these are the different, uh, you know, buckets which are there on the content piece. So for example, in case of kids, the average views are 2 to 6 times of other genres. Because probably when kids start watching a content, like if you hand a tablet or a phone to the kids, it doesn't matter what is there. अगर वो like Peppa Pig देख रहे हैं, they will continue like for hours. They'll sit and keep watching a video after another, right? So that's why the kid content has the highest consumption. In case of entertainment, comedy, reality, and drama, basically comedy has the highest share within entertainment, which is almost 50% of entertainment views go to comedy. Then there's non-fiction and reality, which take about 25 like percent of the views, and these are all online views, just in case you guys have like a question. There is also a very strong, with platforms like TVF, like Teja mentioned, with the and with the with platforms like AIB. There's a lot of demand for like original content which is only or exclusively available on web. The content creators are no longer, with the like with the coming of the internet, and with the growth of internet, and with YouTube, the content creators are no longer dependent on like on TV or big media houses to make their content available for everyone. Yeah. Uh, then there's music, which contributes to about 70%. So within music, the mainstream Hindi music accounts for about like 70% views. There's then there's movies, right? So all of the distinct. So apart from this, there is sports and news. Now I haven't mentioned anything about sports and news because we like because it's not kind of relevant to us. Now, what all does Voot offer to like so this is what is India like is looking at. Now what does Voot have? What is the So Voot is not just the Viacom 18 content. It has 30,000 plus hours of content. It has multiple genres, right? Like comedy, reality, drama, and all kinds of genres. Then there are multiple formats on Voot. Yeah. So when I say multiple formats, there is long form, which is movies. There are like TV shows. Then there are originals. We do make we do make some like originals which are exclusively available on Voot. There is CAC content, which we call as content around content, where basically, so I'm going to take you guys through all these like different forms of content ahead. uh, then there are multiple languages. So Voot has 6 languages. So it's not just the mainstream Hindi audience that we like cater to. We also cater to regional like languages and regional geographies. Apart from that there are some very interesting like features, uh, like the parental pin, like a recommendation engine. So just to kind of keep the product very easy to navigate, there is search, and of course like you can share if you're watching a video, right? So this was Voot. Now let's talk about the kind of content the Voot has. So basically we have like the biggest pie is of the network content, where there's drama, reality, comedy, and all kind of like genres. So all the content like from Colors TV, from MTV, from Sonic, all kind of different channels, everything rests on Voot, right? Then there's movies from Viacom 18 Motion Pictures. There's kids, uh, and you guys know. I mean, I'm going to take you through, what all do we have in kids. We have Voot exclusives. This is basically the content around the content that I spoke about. what we do. So suppose MTV has a like a roadies show. What we do is, while roadies is being shot, we also make some behind the scene content on roadies, which is again available only on Voot. So that's why Voot exclusives. Then there's Voot originals. The web series that we make, again only uh, exclusive to Voot. And now we are going to be launching. Actually, we are doing a beta with Voot Music too. So we have these shows like MTV Unplugged, Coke Studio. We have like these concerts happen, like the Global Citizen India. Global Citizen India was so we had all the content of Global Citizen India was a concert. uh, Today, I think Supersonic is starting. Supersonic, by the way, will be streamed live on Voot. So it will be streaming live on Voot. You guys, in fact, it's already started. You guys can kind of watch it. So all this music, like content, also kind of will be consolidating it under a vertical, right? Talking about the network, like content and genres, as I said, there's drama, reality, music, comedy, shows like Ashoka, Love School, a whole variety of shows there. Then this now, so yeah, so coming on to the kids content here. Voot is actually, this is the kids content is actually a like a differentiator for Voot. Uh, Voot has around 2,500 hours of kids content, more than 7,000 videos for kids. There are more than 80 popular characters. Actually, we had this when we launched, right? And almost 80 out of 100 top toon characters that are being watched in India are on Voot. So it's not just the volume of content, it's also the quality of content. And with kids, what we've done is we've gone ahead and we already had Sonic, like all the Nickelodeon content and the Sonic, like kids content on Voot, but we've actually got these. They all have very different like propositions. Hotstar is primarily sports. YouTube is primarily UGC, like content, which is user generated, like content. Voot is primarily, so Voot is, it has TV shows, but it also has Voot originals. It has, like kids. It has content around content. So basically, all the players are in different, although they are, like competitors, but their specialities are kind of different, right? So this was kids. Yeah, so all these tunes, you basically think about a tune, Kung Fu Panda, Motu Patlu, Chota Bheem, Talking Tom, uh, Peppa Pig. They're all there on Voot. Yeah, you guys should like check it out. It's just insane the amount of kids content we have. Um, so I'm just like we made this so just to kind of drive this point that we have. I mean, this was actually one of the challenges, that how do we let people know that there is so much like content, kids content specifically on Wood, and kids, the category kids actually comes with a lot of challenges which I'll talk about. But this is actually the video that we made. I'm gonna just share a link of a video with you guys. Just give me a second. Yes. Yeah. So why don't you guys watch it? It's just a 1 minute, like video. Shall we also kind of play this for you? Uh, I just, I think I'll just mute the mic and I play it over here. Okay, so you guys saw this, and yeah, so basically what we did with this video, in very very simple terms, within a minute, actually 45 seconds or so, we showed the range of little kids, the range of characters that we have, the range of characters that we have on Woot, and it not just communicated it to the kids, which would obviously be more, who would be more interested in the visuals, but also the parents, that they can, if they want to engage, and how parents, like how this is kind of helpful to parents is they can just hand, uh, what usually happens is, a lot of parents open YouTube, like kids ka video lagate hain, and they kind of give it to the kid, and that guy is kind of there for a long time. But there's a problem with that, whereas YouTube has all kind of like content with no wow, okay, so with no uh, with no check on where that kid might go, what that kid might see again. So with Woot Kids, what we did was we don't just have a full library of the kids content, but also as a product, we've made like a parental pin for the kids, where uh, once the parent kind of puts in the pin and hands the phone to the kid, he'll be able to watch videos only within the Woot Kids section. They will not be able to go to the other section where there are these MTV shows like Splitsvilla, Love School, which probably parents don't want their kids to see. Exactly. Right? So that won't, by the way, Satvik, that won't happen on Woot, because once you do that, the kid can exit the app and even like try to again open it. It will again open it in Woot Kids. They'll not be able to go to the other section. Yes, basically it's locked. Uh, so yeah, so that's so through this we are basically like showing the range of content uh, on Woot Kids. We have some other ads also where we kind of talked about the parental, like pin. We made some other features, because the content that is there here is good for kids starting from 3 years to kind of whenever, to whatever age you call them kids. So basically, starting from Peppa Pig to Power Rangers, right? Uh, so when a kid is kind of watching, when you're in Boot Kids and you're watching a video, you shake the phone a little bit and it will kind of go on to the next video. For kids who are not able to navigate through an app, it just becomes very, very easy for them to kind of move or change the video, right? So that was Kaun Nahi Hai Apne Paas. And now we go to the Voot originals. So, guys, there was a very real problem that we were facing as Voot, where you know what where Voot will become just an app which has, where Voot will become just a catch-up destination. Whereas, यार आपको अगर if you missed an episode of like Colors, then the next day morning you can come to Voot, you can watch that episode. We didn't want it to be that. We wanted Voot to have a lot of differentiated like content as well. So we launched with 4 originals. These originals are basically a small web series, 6 to 7 episodes, each episode 20 to 25 minutes. So there was, and they're all very different and cater to different audiences. Like Badman like Badman was a was a was the first digital movie to be screened online actually. Uh, it featured Gulshan Grover as Gulshan Grover. Very interesting story. It was a satire on like Bollywood. Then there was Sodis, where we had Baba Sehgal in Sodis. Sodis is about a family which just loves the show Roadies, right? And which just loves the show Roadies. And whatever they do in their everyday life is like tasks. So this was a full like comedy spoof kind of like comedy here. Chinese Bhasar, very 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 interesting story. Basically, so we launched with with Batman, Sodis, Chinese Bhasar, and Sinskari. So a whole lot of original content. Since launch, we have made 3 more originals. Shadi Boys. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Is basically we made it with Swara Bhaskar. It basically spoke. So it was a little bit like a little more serious show where we spoke about the complications that happen in modern marriages. Yeah, where and it also kind of asks some really hard questions on whether it is okay to Yeah. So this was Chinese Bhasar. There is another one. Okay, wait. How do I go to? Actually, let me just share. So there's another one which is Shadi Boys. It's just a 40-second video. You guys want to see that also, so that you get a taste of the originals. Share. Even this is not coming. ये आ नहीं रहा है. No, no, guys, just give me a second. I'm just trying to get to the presentation. Yeah. So the system is slightly new for me. Pause. Wow. Which one? Can you guys see the presentation by any chance? Yes. Thought so. We are working on it. Just give me a second, guys. Awesome. Thanks, Sumit. So this was the Chinese Basar video, the Shadi Basar. So guys, let me talk to you guys a little bit about, this. Yeah. So guys, with original content, there's a difference between the content that you guys that one can make on TV and that one kind of makes on internet. I believe that the internet audience is way more savvy. They are smarter. So the content needs to be way smarter than the content that the TV producers make. On like online, people don't have the patience of probably watching, like a series with 500 episodes, 600 episodes. So that does not work, like online. What we try to do, so we've actually been learning with our originals approach. Earlier, what we did was we used to put on a series, like, like put on the first episode of the series, wait for a week, and then upload the second episode, wait for a week, upload the third episode. But then we quickly realized that from one episode to another, the number of people who are kind of, like watching or reaching the second or third episode is very, very less. Then we experimented with the next series. We said, hey, you know what? Let us, like upload three episodes, like together, and then the rest of the three episodes together. What we saw was now more people were kind of, like moving on to the next episodes. So binge watching is very, very, like prevalent today. Nowadays, people, or the new millennials, just want to kind of go through the whole thing. They don't have the patience. They want to go through the whole thing. So now what we do is we put the entire series together on Voot and just let people have fun with it. All that has kind of happened through a period of time. We've been learning as we've been kind of as we've been doing things. So yeah, and also I think there's another thing. I mean, you guys have all, like, would have all watched, you know roast. You guys would have watched other series that other guys are making online, and you guys just saw the trailer of Shadi Boys and Chinese Basar. Do, like, check them out on Voot, and you'll see a clear difference between the content on Voot and content on TV. There are a lot of regulations that are there on what you can show. It's actually Voot. No, so yeah. So let me just finish that, and I'll come back to that, Harshita. So there's a whole there are a whole lot of limitations on the kind of content that one can put on TV, and and most of those limitations kind of go away when you're making, like, content online, right? So yeah, you know so I believe it's the web series, the originals format, although may not be super huge right now, but I think the country, the youth is basically, or people are moving towards, are moving, like, towards this kind of content, and it will be very, very exact, yeah, and it will be very, very, like, prevalent in the coming days. So we are experimenting. The production quality that we have as a Vicom group, we get all the expertise of the Vicom group. I mean, Voot works like a startup, literally like a startup. We have one small floor in the building. There's a small team which kind of works, like, together. But the good thing is that we have the backing of the whole Viacom group. So we have all the learnings of the Viacom group, where we are able to, and we really and we really appreciate that, and we really understand that we have to do things much better when it comes to content making, when it comes to marketing. Like, everything has to be faster and better than the rest of the players out there, right? So this was about, like, originals. Now, coming out to the exclusive content that we make. So uh, we thought, so when we started out, we said, hey, okay, there are a few questions, I think. Okay, first one, Harshita's question: does Woot have offline video watching as well? No, Harshita, Woot does not currently have offline video watching. Although we are working on it, we really, I think it will be launched within the next month or so, probably less than that. We're already doing a beta on that, right? Coming to Rahul Anand, are all originals currently in the comedy space? No, all originals are not in the comedy space. We try to keep things light, but something like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple was a light-hearted show, but it dealt with a way more serious issue. Yeah. So all originals are not comedy. They are all in different kind of spaces. They are, in fact, not just spaces. They are also meant for different audience. Where a Shadi Boys is meant for, primarily for men, younger men, younger males, right? And INTS basically is market Voot. Yeah. I'll come to the whole thing, all the channels. Voot is a single brand. Wycom 18 is a household brand. And guys, I think so. You guys can keep kind of sending the questions. We'll deal with some of these questions later. Yeah. Coming to Unseen Undekha. Yeah. So Unseen Undekha or exclusive, like content is we realize that there are only like there are only limited time on TV for which like a particular content can be shown. Like you get a half an hour slot for a TV show, or you get a 1 hour. Like Big Boss is 1 hour, sometimes 1.5 hours. Whereas if you see Big Boss, within Big Boss there is 23 hours of right, and we put it under a label called Unseen and Dekha. Uh, guys, just give me a second. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Unseen and Dekha is that we did something else called Uncut. Minutes of it. So we said, hey, people would want to watch the whole task. So what we do is we cut small parts of the task, and we kind of like put we cut the entire, we took the entire task, the half an hour long task, and we put it on Voot. And we said, hey, let's see, like if people will watch it or not. So here is some of, for you guys who kind of don't know, let me play a video of Unseen and Dekha and Uncut and kind of show you what exactly it's about. Uh, share. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's buffering. I'll just let it buffer. Or I'll just start again. I think that'll help. Oh. So guys, I think the video is not playing, so we'll kind of move on. You guys can see the promo on the Voot YouTube, like channel. Just search for Unseen Undekha, and you guys will be able to kind of look at it and know exactly what Unseen Undekha is. Oh, right, it right. Okay, strange. Sumit, do you want to help? Sumit is on the session. थोड़ा सा काम कर सकते हैं. Yes. Uh, Aryan, we are going to be talking about the marketing strategy. That's just the next thing. Is it from one of them? Okay, guys. So now coming on to the, uh, there's uncut. There was a video. We'll share all the videos. Don't worry about it. Now coming on to the brand. Yeah. Voot as the brand. What does Voot stand for? What is the brand philosophy? All those things, right? So what is so when we started out, we had a few challenges, right? Challenges like most of the so one is limited real estate on a device. Most of the cell phones in India are under the that are sold are under the price range of 5 to 8,000, and they have very limited memory space. So then you have to really have a really strong kind of like proposition to have to occupy that real estate on a consumer's device. There are social media, like there are social media apps that are like competing for that. There are news apps that are competing for the real estate. There are other OTT apps which are competing for the real estate. So limited real estate on a device was a genuine like challenge for us. The other one that I spoke about earlier is Woot might just become a catch-up destination, just because people watch a lot of like TV. They know and like connect with the content which is on TV. Uh, so they might just think that hey, Woot is another app which just has like the colors content or MTV like a content, and one just needs to go to Voot just to kind of like catch up with the episodes. If I've missed an episode, I'll go watch it. Otherwise, there's no other real use of Voot. That was a real like challenge. To kind of how do we not go into that zone? Thirdly, not having the first movers advantage. I mean, YouTube has been around for some time. There was Hotstar, like was already there. Hotstar had launched a year back when we launched Voot. There was Ditto, there was, like OZ. All these players were already there in the market, right? So this was a big challenge. And then there is a platform shift resistance. Platform shift resistance is basically one, you know, uh, that most of us are used to watching our videos on YouTube, or most of us are used to watching their. In fact, nowadays, a lot of us watch at least four, five, six videos on, like in a day on Facebook, right? So now shifting from that platform was again a big, like challenge. A lot of Viacom 18, like content was on YouTube. We knew that the moment we remove it, and we put it on you, people will be mad. People wouldn't want to come on Voot. And anyways, if you are used to doing something on a particular app, you don't just, like consider another app. So these were, like some challenges. And to counter each of the challenges, we made some, like objectives where, to counter the limited real estate challenge, we really had to build relevance through the consideration. We had to have a we had to have a like a proposition so strong that it becomes relevance to a lot of people, and they kind of have to download. Suddenly Wood starts making sense, right? For catch-up destination, we had to showcase the plethora of content and genres that we have on Root. We couldn't just stay with, like the network or the GC content. We had to show we have, like kids also. We had to show we have originals. We had to show we have kind of, like unseen and big. Not having the first movers advantage, we were not the first in the market. We had to do a very, very strong branding so that people start relating to us, so that people start loving us, right? And then the platform shift resistance, we needed to educate a lot of people about the platform. We needed to educate the people that, hey, these are all the these are the reasons why one should, why it makes sense to kind of move on to food. So yeah, so these were the objectives, and then hence, what was our aim? The aim of Voot was to create an alternative world of entertainment for everyone in the family, filled with happy discoveries and infected with content that's contagious and shareable. Happiness was at the core of the brand, right? Uh, so, so basically, a world of entertainment. So that there is so much, like over here for everyone in the family. It's relevant to everyone, filled with happy, like discoveries. It will not just, you'll not just, like, it's not just another app. It's an app that kind of makes you happy. The content is, like contagious, and it can be shared with your friends. So happiness was at the core of the brand. Moving on to that, but what is this kind of happiness that is at the core of the brand? Now, happiness is of a lot of different types here. Like, I can get happiness from, opening a can of Coke, from drinking Coke. Some people, like that. I feel very happy when I have an ice cream. That is also a kind of happiness. Listening to radio, like for some people, listening to radio is a form of happiness. They're stuck in traffic, they're listening to radio, they love it. A cereal diet, some people find their happiness, like they love to eat, like cereals. So happiness can be there, andar se khush, bahar se khush, and so on and so forth, right? So there are different kinds of happiness, but why Woot? What is so different about Woot happiness? right? Uh, so our pursuit was to understand and bring alive exactly what defines the happy feeling one can get from food. What is this happy feeling? We really had to define this happy feeling. It was not just about that Voot is a happy brand, it will make you happy. We had to really define kya happiness hai, right? Now, at the core of Voot, what is Voot about? Voot is about anytime, anywhere entertainment. You can carry your entertainment with you, right? It's not, unlike like TV, where you have to be at a certain place at a certain like time to be able to watch your content, to be able to enjoy, right? And Wood had an abundance of like content. So these were the two main things that kind of defined Wood, right? And hence, what's the joy in that? It is recurring happiness which you can, which is excitement on demand. You can enjoy this happiness anytime at all. It's recurring. It's in your like control. It's almost restless happiness, right? So yeah, exactly. So what is the happiness when you know it's available anytime? It's excitement and urge. You want to go back to that. So if you are happy doing something and you know that you can do that thing anytime, one, it will make you super excited that hey, I have this source of happiness at my this thing, and there will be an urge to kind of go back, to it again and again. Just like when you are in the middle of a good book, you like you're at work, but you're thinking about that book. You know the book is in your bag. You can like take it out anywhere, and you can like read like some part of it, right? Just like when you steal moments to check scores, you're at work again, there's a match happening, you're not able to see the match uh, at work, but then you can, like steal those moments when your boss is not around and check your scores. Like once you update your status on FB, right? And there is FB on your phone, and after this, like updating the status every 5 minutes, we kind of go back and see, like how many likes how many likes did we get, how many like comments did we get, what are our friends saying, right? It's almost about like so. In fact, if I'll give you another example. It's like eight bar. No one can eat just one. It's like that Lay's ka chips, right? No one can eat just one. You can't just watch it only once. You have to go back to it. Bar bar, like dekhna padega. So it isn't about waiting to reach home to watch TV. It is the urge or the restlessness and excitement to experience when you know you instantly can watch what you want to watch. It's the desire for the earliest gratification. It's not a passive, warm, ice creamy happy that, hey, I had ice cream and I'm really happy. But it's almost restlessness that, hey, I want to watch more. I want to watch more. There's so much more. I can watch so much more. Right? It is active excitement. I want it now happy. I hope that kind of makes it, like clear what kind of happiness, like, I hope that differentiates the kind of happiness from the other, passive, warm, or ice creamy happiness, right? So then, so then we defined it as it is the uncontrollable excitement and craving to wound anywhere, anytime, almost like a good addiction. It's almost like an addiction that you want to go back to it again and again. I hope this is, it's kind of important so that, like, I hope you guys understand what's the difference between this happiness. So Sakshi has understood. Okay, okay. A lot of people have understood. Awesome. Replacement for friends at time. Exactly, Sonia. Exactly. It's like wanting to see House of Cards all the time. Yeah. Cool. So then, what is the brand purpose of Voot? The purpose of our brand is get people addicted to happiness. We want people to be addicted to this happiness. We are supplying more and more of like content which makes you happy anytime, anywhere. We want you to be like addicted to it. And what's the role of the brand? As a brand, who am I? I'm the peddler of happiness for the new brand. I am the guy who like provides this happiness for the new world in which now Voot is. That's what we in which now Voot was when we launched. So then, what was our brand personality? As I think somebody said earlier, like a friend, like we wanted to be a curious brand. We wanted to be a vivid brand. We wanted to be a spontaneous brand, a brand which is in the now. We wanted to be sassy. We wanted to have some attitude. We would be a little, like cheeky. We would joke, like we would joke around with you. We almost wanted to be like a chuddy buddy to people who are like who like us. Funny. We want to be unafraid. We don't want to be scared of talking about things. We'll not just say nice things to people. So I don't know if you guys have seen Woot handle it, like on Twitter, Facebook. We do all kind of stuff here. We make jokes. Like when Brexit happened, we made jokes about that. Yeah, so we are unafraid. The creative leap that we took to that was uh, helpless restlessness, where you are helplessly restless to go back to Voot and watch your content again and again. And I'll show how it kind of like comes alive, right? Uh, and with all this, the expression that we came up was wanting. Again happens online. So offline and online, everything it was like a 360-degree campaign, right? And in the center of it all was basically wanting. Everything that we did was around wanting. So coming to TV. So let me actually show you the. Okay, that kind of reminds me. So now Woot. So one of the challenges that we as Woot had was our TG was huge, because like literally from 3 years to 55 years, right? Males, females, young guys, older guys, married people, unmarried people, literally everybody was our TG. And we had to communicate to all kinds of people. We had to make sense to everyone. We had to talk to everyone in their languages. So what we did was we kind so watch one and then we'll come back. So watch the first one, guys. Yeah. So you guys saw the first, like commercial, and you saw that. So what's basically happening is there's this guy who's watching, there's this youngish guy who's watching roadies on Voot, and he's an airport security line, and then he has to pass through security. So he has to keep the phone, for the security check, and he's on the other end of the line, but because of somebody else, the phone is not, like coming to him, and he is getting restless to go back to Wood and kind of start watching the content, right? We are obviously, so I mean, it will be, like pretty apparent that, so it's everything. It's the people that we have in the video, it's the kind of content that we are showing in the video. It's the kind of setting. A lot of young guys, young people, young guys and girls are actually, like traveling nowadays. They travel, and like it's a situation which a lot of people will be able to probably relate to, right? We thought about all of these things when we created like a commercial for this young, like audience watching this kind of content. Now let's kind of have a look at the second one. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So again, so this commercial, uh, basically a situation which a lot of medium age women will be able to relate to, the content that a lot of medium age women will be able to relate to, the setting which a lot of medium age women will be able to, like kind of relate to. Also, if you guys see by the second video, you guys will notice that there is a huge jump that happens. That jump is the manifestation of the of basically it's a we wanted to make it so exaggerated. We wanted to show such an exaggerated version of the helpless restlessness that we said, hey, you know what, even if it feels a little bit unreal, let's go ahead and show that jump and show how restless people are to go back to food, right? Exactly. So anxiety, how anxious people are to kind of go back to Voot and start watching their own, like content. Also, you guys, so by the second video, you guys would start noticing that at the end of every video, we have, and you will see it. I mean, you guys can notice it in, like ahead in the presentation, that all the creatives that you guys will see, all videos will have this download the app now. Download the app. This red, bright red, like button on a white background which says download the app. So we always kind of, when we started out, we wanted to give a clear call to action to all the users to, yeah. So you can watch it in the next one, Ranji. A clear call to action to all the like viewers, that hey, what you have to do now is download the app. Now our digital platform manifests itself in different forms. Yeah, there's a desktop website, there's a mobile website, there is like there is an app. Now it's okay if people kind of search for Woot and kind of go to Woot, but we wanted to make it clear, people who come on an app, uh, like traditionally, historically, stick longer to the app. They have made a bigger, like commitment uh, to the product by downloading the app, by spending that much data. So I wanted, and then it takes some time for them to even, so even if they want to uninstall it, it takes some, there's more stickiness that comes with the app. So we wanted to kind of give that call to action, that so that more and more and more people kind of download the Voot app. So quickly, let's have a look at the third, this one also, and then we will, I think we are kind of running out of time. So for people who have we, by the way, I just asked, have you guys looked at the third one? Were you guys, or some people are the patient ones who still haven't? Okay, so I got 4, 5, 6. So everybody has looked at the third one also. Now the third one is cool. So I'll just like carry on. So the third one is the kids like commercial, which talks about where there is a little kid looking at the phone and watching his like cartoon on it. Now with kids, the challenge was not to just talk to the kids, but also to talk to the like to the parents, because a lot of time the original device is with the parents. It's the parents who ration the time that the kid will spend on like online or on the phone, right? So the situation had to be such that it not just connects with the kid or shows a kid like in silo, but it also connects with the parents. Yeah, right. So it also connects with the parents. Parents also see themselves in what they are looking, like on the screen or in the commercial, and kind of relate to that, situation, and hence kind of develop that brand love, like for Voot. Yeah, cool. So moving on, this is the kids one. Okay, now the plan. Basically, we went to town. We knew that, as I said, we knew we are not the first, like players in the market. We really had to go to town, with the commercials, and we did that. We got 2,000 TV GRPs across 9 weeks on home network with a reach frequency of 81% and 63%. Right? So this is on the home network on the Viacom 18 network. We also got 375 odd GRPs on affiliate channels across 3 weeks. Yeah. When I say affiliate channels, the channels which are basically not from the Viacom network. They could be Star, they could be like other channels. So we really went to town with these three videos to kind of make to do that initial blast. Now, while we are that I've basically learned over my years is uh, whenever you're doing some kind of launch, whenever you're doing some kind of big bang marketing, it's always better the online space. We did a huge, like press conference where we called media from all over, like all over India. Uh, on digital, we went, like crazy. The top five traffic generating sites in India. So I'm gonna go to that, but we were there on that day. In fact, for a couple of days, we were there on the top five traffic generating sites in India. We were doing massive display campaigns all at once. This is basically to increase the number of touch points that a viewer kind of, you know, that a viewer has. In the morning, you wake up, you switch on your radio, you're there. Voot is there. You kind of like switch on your television, you are seeing Voot there. You get out, you see hoardings. There are Voot hoardings outside. In the car, you listen to the radio. Again, Voot is there. You go on your phone. You're on Facebook. You're checking something out. There is a exactly 360-degree market. You're like marketing. You're on Facebook. You're seeing Voot there. So basically, you know, almost attacking the consumer from all sides so that you build that salience, and you'll kind of see that throughout our marketing plan. So okay, so that's one. Now, these three ads are not the only thing that we did. These three ads were about brand, like about brand building. We also wanted to kind of go deeper into, you know, showcasing what is the kind of content we had. So we made some promos which showed the variety of content that was there. Now, what happens is with the network, like content, the protagonists are really famous. Some of the protagonists, like Samrat Ashok and some other, guys, are really famous. So we shot promos with them where they, like the Samrat Ashoka guy in his Ashoka avatar, is talking into the camera and saying, "Hey, watch, watch me live, yeah, like watch me anytime on up tak. You used to watch me on a particular day at a particular time. Now you can watch me live or watch me anytime, anywhere." Right? So basically, to garner like the protagonist's love, we did. We are so as I mentioned, we did some promos with which basically showcased the variety of content that we had. We made originals ka promos. We made like kids ka different like promos. So some of them, I'll just kind of show this video where I'll show you a protagonist, like promo, which I just kind of spoke about, uh, which was from Chakravarti Samrat Ashoka, and I think I can. Okay, right. Let me share it with you very quickly. It's a small one, so shouldn't be a problem. Are we gonna play this? Okay, so you know what? I think I'll just share the videos later. Let's quickly go through the other stuff. So, yeah, yeah, cool. So as I spoke, we did a print uh, ad in top consumer and business, like publications, reaching 3.5 million and more readers across priority markets. Uh, Outdoor impact. We took key OH sites across markets driving impact. So it's in Delhi, Bombay, bus stands, behind the buses. So we went crazy on kind of, on our outdoor impact. We did some interesting innovations with the Voot. So this is actually an interesting one with Voot kids and yeah, Soumya Voot is focusing only on Indian TV shows. Yeah, so with Voot Kids, there was a special challenge. Again, another, challenge where we could not, so because we had acquired the content from different stakeholders, like from Disney, Cartoon, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, there are so in the kids content rights, there are very specific, mentions that you can't show two, like a character from Disney and a character from Cartoon Network together. That's a limitation, right? You cannot show that. Now, then how do we? Then the challenge was that how do we, either you can show a Motu Patlu or you can show a, like a Kung Fu Panda. You can't show them together. Then how do we kind of show that all these characters are, together on Voot? So what we did was, since now, so we found a catch. We kind of looked at the contracts. We found a catch that if the characters are in a phone or are coming out of a phone or are standing on a phone, then you can show it because it's basically showing that it's basically, since Voot has the right to have all the characters and Voot is a app, so we could show the characters साथ में, and our legal kind of went mad figuring this out, legal and marketing together actually. But there was a catch, like there's a loophole where if they are standing on a phone or if they're emerging from a phone, then these, characters can be shown together. So if you see this, billboard, there is a phone which is made under all the characters where, they are, it almost seems like they are emerging out of the, they are emerging out of the this thing. Okay, we went berserk. As I said, we went berserk on radio. There is a radio jingle which is there. We are gonna kind of skip that. You guys can, like I've shared the audio files. You guys can listen to it. Basically, again, the same jingle, like the soundtrack that like that you heard in the TVCs, with very clear download the app now messaging. So the download the app thing is consistent everywhere. Even in this creative, there's the download the app. Even in the outdoor, creatives, there's like download the app happening. For PR, as I mentioned, we announced our foray into the OTT world with the top business, publications and these trade, publications, so that everybody in the advertising market also kind of knows about it. The people kind of know about it. AFAX, Economic Times, Exchange for Media, Business Live, Television Post, Mint, and many other, publications. We were live there. We did a large scale press conference. We called the celebs that have been working in our shows. We called the, celebs like Raghu Rajiv was in, was in Sanskari. Alok Nath was in Sanskari. So we had that, like celeb power. We called all the celebs there. We called the media. We connected them with the celebs. We just went kind of mad with this. So we, and due to that, since media from across India was there, we got a huge buzz for a period of a week just from the PR. Chang is more late, is more recent actually. This is I'm kind of talking about the launch time here. Now coming on to the digital impact. Can I increase the size of this thing? This one? Okay. But then I'll not be able to kind of see this. Oh yeah. Yes. I don't know how this will. How will this work? Ah, so much better. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah. Okay, so digital impact. As I mentioned, roadblocks, homepage takeovers on top five traffic sites, TOI, MSN, Yahoo, YouTube. We did mastheads. We did, like TrueView. So we did YouTube mastheads, and we did. I'm going to talk about some really nice innovations. We did a global first innovation on YouTube, non-skippable ads, and there are some numbers below that. Yeah. So if you guys want to kind of see the numbers, the overall reach of the overall impressions that we got from the digital campaigns was about 700 million impressions. Now obviously these are, we played these ads with high frequency. That's why about 750 million impressions. Facebook, we did the RNF block. We did various formats of videos. We did 3D videos. We did, like carousels to attract attention of more and more kind of, like people. Then display, horizontal reach across audiences. Now display, we could actually target very, very specific people with different kind of, like creatives. So all the three, so there were specific target groups that were made for each of the brand videos, and then further for each of the content promos that were kind of being made. uh, Disruptive visibility. Now, there's a lot of like clutter online. There are so many different things happening, so many different ads. So we wanted to do some big innovations so that we stand out of the crowd, so that we are able to differentiate ourselves from these other things that are happening, right? So we actually worked with the Google team, with the YouTube team for a couple. Actually, took a couple of months before the launch to develop, but we did an innovation which had never happened in the globe before, and it's a scratch to reveal. Basically, it was called the scratch to reveal, like content masthead. And let me actually, can I? How do I? So I'm gonna send you a link. How do I access this link? Yeah? No, it's not letting me copy it. Do you want to send me the link through this thing? Guys, just give me a second. I'm going to show what exactly did we do. So I have a link of the master that we did. So I'm trying to share the link, I'll talk about what the masthead is. So basically, it was an interactive masthead, which let us which so what happened was there are so it asked you, what do you want to watch, like today, and there were different genres that kind of flashed in the beginning, right? And वो genres जब तक like flash हो रहे हैं, you're trying to select a genre, the masthead opened up, and there were eight. You sent it to me, yeah, and there were eight. किस पे? Skype. Actually, no. अच्छा इस पे है क्या? नहीं, इस पे आना चाहिए. I am there on, but I can't see. हाँ, just give me a second, guys. Okay. Yeah. So this is the link. Just like click on this link, and you guys will be able to see the masthead. I'll show it to you also, and I'll run it over here so that I can take you through this. Um, Yeah. So global first, so in the beginning it says wanting comedy, drama, originals, and all that. You click to expand it, and a phone shows up, right? And it asks you, what would you want to watch today? Start scratching now. So it's almost like the masthead is leading you to take an action, right? Then there's a pointer which says, hey, scratch here to reveal. Once you scratch it, yeah. So once you scratch it, the relevant promo of the content. So an ad, like an ad shows up of the content. So I scratch the originals one first, and one of the originals that is there on the platform. So under each of these, like windows, there were multiple, like content that could show up. Right. So agar ek baar, so suppose you are scratching originals, like once, it will show you, like an ad of one original. If you are again scratching original, it will show you another ad, like it will show you another original. So there were multiple layers of content under mythology, music, tunes, drama. Like there was, if you go and scratch music, then suddenly it will show, like Coke Studio, like Pro. You then again, so it again asked you, keep scratching to see more. You again scratch originals. This time there's Batman that kind of, like shows up, right? And so let me, yeah. Have you guys? So yeah. So did you guys see it? Play with it? You guys have the link. You guys can keep, like playing with it. So with this masthead, what we were able to do was, one, we led the whoever is the audience, we attracted their attention in the first place. What do you want to, like watch today? Then we went through, and then we showed them the entire range of the content that is there available on Voot in a very, very interesting way, in a very interactive way. People played with this, like with this masthead for hours that day. Like we have reports where a guy, some people just wanted to explore how many videos it will show, like an originals kitni baar wo alag video dikhayega, and how many videos are there under each of the content, like pieces. So result, the time spent on this masthead was 4 times the YouTube average that is spent on a masthead, which is just, like crazy. People spend 4 times more time on this masthead than any other masthead done before, right? So through this, we were able to make differentiate ourselves and make ourselves visible to the rest of the, from the rest of the, brands. Then we did extensive in-game integrations. Now this also kind of falls under the innovation piece. What we did was, and I'm going to show you here. So there is a game, developer called Nazara, and they have this Chota Bheem race game. We said, hey, we want to partner with you, and we want to be there on the game because it just makes, a lot of sense. You guys, you have Motu Patlu game, you guys have the Chota Bheem game, we have Chota Bheem related videos, so it just, really makes sense. I think the audience are like the TG matches. So one, we were present on the main screen of the game with the Voot logo. Second, during the game, so the game was out. There's the, like basically this race happens where different characters are running, like are running, and they get this power up. And earlier, the power up used to be a like a box which used to keep rotating. Right? We said we want the Voot logo in there. So the power ups were Voot logos. And when this guy, once you took the power up, right? Again, there was a little animation above the character which showed the Voot logo. So basically, associate, again, this is part of building brand love for Voot. Kids who are playing the game would love Voot because Voot gives them these powers which helps them win the game, right? Then there is yeah. So another example, there were, like different kind of scenarios in the game, different kind of races. And then in the end, there is, what, for people who have downloaded the app, like a message used to come, hey, you can watch your favorite, like tunes on Voot. For people who don't have the app, they used to get a download the app on messaging. So very, very relevant, using technology and using interactivity to show very relevant messages to the people, to the right audience actually. So this was one innovation. Another innovation we did, and I'll share the preview link later, is if you're like there on any site. Actually, is there a link? Can you share this, like the review link? So I'll share the link. You guys can like look at it in your free time. Like play with it. So again, this was shown on a lot of gaming sites, parenting sites, to again show the range of content that Wood had. So this is again an interactive ad which had all the kids ka promos, all the character like promos that we had. It's a very interesting one. I'll share the link. You guys can like play with it later. So preview, no, not here. If you go on this slide now, I don't know what the slide number is, but integrations on game size, the presentation. Yeah, want to go along. Yeah. So guys, don't worry. I'll share the link. Exactly. Like Praveen, more like engaging target audience with the brand. The right target audience ke paas, you take the right kind of stuff, you make them engage in the right kind of way. So this kind of end with the so this was our impact campaign. These were the different innovations, big innovations that we did around the impact campaign. Now performance. With performance, these are the different channels that are there for performance. There is search. We had to now search for now. Voot was so there's a soft launch of Voot happened on 29th March, and then it went into beta where people were still downloading. Some people were downloading the app, but we were not marketing the app at all. Our big bang marketing campaign launched in May. We took the period from March to May to let some people experience the app, and we kept on kind of improving the app in the back end so that when we go live with the big bang, and when we reach out to tens of millions of people, and when they download the app, they don't get a bad experience. Which is very, very important, because the first time if somebody kind of downloads the app, they get a bad experience in nothing. Like today's world, when people have so little patience, they don't have the time, they have less data, they don't want to spend data again and again, on downloading the app. It's imperative, it's super important that they get the best experience the first time, right? So yeah, so our performance campaign started from the beta phase. So that our, for those of you who know Google search, it kind of takes some time to build up the right, like it takes some data and some time to scale up, like Google search, right? So that's why we started that, so that by the time we reach the big bang impact, search is at full power, right? So we cover the entire range of keywords. There was brand keywords, which are like Voot, Voot, watch Voot, download Voot. Channel keywords like MTV, colors content, MTV shows, colors shows. Then different kind of shows like download Ashoka, like Sarat Ashoka, different kind of genres. Watch comedy, watch reality. Protagonist, watch, again, watch Samrat Ashoka, although that's also the name of the show. But, what else? Watch Ranvijay, like in Rudy's. Actor, the actor name, so for which the actors were famous. Generic, or like watch movies online, watch TV shows online, on those kind of keywords, right? So we went live with all these keywords. In display, we had placement, contextual, demographic, interest related, different kinds of, like campaigns. We did, now there was another strength that we had in the Viacom 18 network, where all the subscription, so earlier the content was on all these different YouTube channels. Some content was on MTV channels, some content was on, like Colors channel. And they have a huge subscriber base. So we uploaded the entire subscriber base into our AdWords account. We remarketed for MTV subscribers. We remarketed to them the MTV ka content. For like Colors ka subscribers, we remarketed the Colors content to them. Affiliates, we tried out different affiliate partners to kind of test the quality of each of the affiliates that were coming to us. Facebook, we went hyper targeted with Facebook, literally hundreds of campaigns which are targeted to small sets of TG with specific content pieces for them. Very, very aggressive remarketing on Facebook, like again with the like with the fan bases that the different Facebook, different, like the channel Facebook pages have. Lots of promos, like on YouTube, on YouTube in the true view format. We made small 6 second, like bumpers and went live with those, right? So yeah, so as I mentioned, search and display was active throughout soft launch, and yeah, what else? Yeah, so now the science behind, like performance was there was scale, but there was customized scale. So we had 240,000. So when we launched, we start out in March, we had 240,000 keywords that were there in the AdWords account. We had about 90,000 unique ads that we wrote and uploaded in Google. We started out with about 6 million impressions a day. Targeting, we didn't just do targeting, which is, like demographic, male, female, 15 to 30, location, like country, city, region wise. We did hyper targeting. Personas, not just 15 to 30 male, females, new, like parents with 3 to 10-year-old babies or, like kids. We did geofencing, whereas within, we not just showed our ads in a particular city, but certain ads we showed in specific office areas, in specific universities, right? We didn't just do interest-based targeting. There is a certain, like product out there where we could target the phones which have Hotstar or Amazon, like apps on their phone. So we can target those people who had these apps. If somebody has Hotstar app, that means, they already like to watch videos online. Yeah, Praveen. I think you have a question. Quick question. Okay. When you say mobile viewership, so there are about 200 to 250 million smartphones in India, yeah. And though all the smartphones, are not, mobile viewership is actually like a tricky one. 250 million smartphones in India, out of which 3%, 5%. Let me actually, know what? Let me come back to that question. Yeah. In fact, you guys can send me, in the interest of time. I think it's been 2 hours. So in the interest of time, you send me the, like your questions, and I'll try and answer all of those, right? So yeah, hyper targeting, deeper optimization. We were not just optimizing on search and other, performance channels. We were not just optimizing for app installs. We were optimizing for app opens. We were optimizing for videos watched. In fact, we went further and optimized for time spent while video watched. And then we went further and said, hey, how many of, we optimize for how long these people who are watching video and spending a lot of time, how long are they staying on the platform, right? Okay, so that was the performance plan. Now we're coming to the social media plan. Probably another, guys, another 5-10 minutes maybe. Uh, so for social, let's look at a few snapshot numbers for social, and some of you might get some numbers answers from here. 136 million active social media users in India, 116 million access social media through mobile devices, right? So huge potential to reach out to people on social. 40% of time spent on mobile phone is on social media. Average. So by the way, do you guys know how many times you guys? I have this interesting stat. How many times an average person checks his phone, checks his mobile phone in a day? Any answers to that? Okay, 20, 30, 10, more than 100. Okay, so Richa actually is the closest. It's about 130 times a day, an average person in India. So it's crazy, and most of the time you're looking for, whether somebody has liked, me on Facebook, or some of you are, like checking like your Twitter feed and what's new happening in the world. So average daily use of social media 2 hours 17 minutes, which is insane. Mobile users are 3 times more engaged on social, right? So all these, like crazy numbers kind of let us believe that social is a very, yeah, exactly. WhatsApp is a big one. So approach philosophy on social was kind of, was simple. We wanted to embrace visual. We wanted to make it about visual, right? Because we wanted to do storytelling through visual. We wanted not just to share to the right people, but share at the right time. And not just the time of day, but looking at the current like trends. Like let's suppose something relevant to our brand is like trending on social. We quickly go ahead, make something around that, and we kind of with the same hashtag we upload it so that we catch that flow. Uh, Now, each of the platform, as I'll kind of talk about it, later, has a different strength. We wanted to share the right things on the right platform. We wanted to leverage the power of like communities. We didn't just want followers. We wanted like tribes. We wanted like a cult. So we never did. I mean, we never actually did follower campaigns as such on Facebook and Twitter. And if you think about it, Facebook has they have kind of said that they have zero organic reach anyway. So it does not make sense to spend on kind of getting followers anyway, right? Now, key platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook is the primary reach medium. Instagram has the most affluent users in India. Most of them, 51% of Instagram users actually buy the brands that they follow on Instagram. That's a very, yeah, and that was very interesting to me too when I kind of, like saw that. Twitter. Twitter was primarily for customer satisfaction, for deeper engagement, for conversation. So these are different kind of roles of the platforms. Facebook for building reach and brand awareness. Twitter for being the voice of the brand by owning a unique tonality. Instagram for building a visual story again, right? Now, what are the kind of content that you can share on each of these social media platforms here? Like, there are five different, like pillars. So first of all, there are five different content pillars that we had on social. So for the social content, there are five different kinds of content that we had. One was brand campaign, which was primarily driving the brand equity. Then there was the TV shows for which we shared, like there were show promos, there were minimalist posters, carousel gifs. So through these kind of formats, we showed that we had biggest TV shows, originals, trailers, minimalist posters again, like carousels, wines, uh, like on social. Similarly, on so for tunes, we had the super promo. We had made some minimalist, like posters, some gifs. For movies, again, some minimalist posters and like carousels. Now, so these are some of the examples of the content formats that we had. Like the first one is cover photo. We came up with a definition of food, which we actually went ahead and put in Urban Dictionary, right? So and then we made a cover photo out of it and said the feeling when you receive consistent doses of happiness, which is kind of aligned with our brand idea. So like a slightly different, like cover photo. You guys can see the carousel, the Facebook, like carousels that we made. We also kind of did some listicles on these favorite, like on these sites like Scoop, Whoop, etc. Now we come to the role of content formats on social. So what does a particular content format does on social? So for stuff like first look videos, memes, gifs, they increase shareability. The more people watch them, the more people see them, they want to share more and more of it. So your voice gets reached, like gets more reach. Minimalist posters, boomerang videos, BTS videos, people want to watch these videos like behind. So BTS is behind the scenes. People want to watch behind the scene videos again and again. So it kind of improves stickiness. Topical conversations or CRM, it increases response, from the consumers. Promos, sales, posters help in top of mind recall. And if you want to broadcast something, if you don't want to like target something, then there is the basically the brand TVCs, 3D videos, they need to be literally broadcasted because you want to reach out to as many people as possible. Okay, so this was the strat part. Now we come to Facebook very quickly. Region targeting. You can by Facebook, you can choose the right audience. You can target by location, behaviors, demographics, custom audiences, interests. So you can Facebook is primarily a targeting like platform. So we even did targeting basis bandwidth connection for Voot, because Voot is a video platform, and primarily in India, I think about 70 to 80% of people are still on were at that time still on like 2G. So we can't target video ads who are 2G based because वो देख नहीं पाएगा. He'll not be able to see the video. The video won't load on Facebook. So we did we decided that for all the like 2G guys, and you can do that targeting on Facebook, we will only have image related campaigns, and all the 3G and the Wi-Fi guys, we had like we targeted videos to these people. there's customer. So yeah, so remarketing. We built the custom lists of the people that were coming on the platform that were registering. We remarketed, like to those people. We could do geographic targeted. So for the tier one cities audience like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, like Chennai, we targeted more edgy and fresh originals. These people living in these cities are slightly more evolved. And for tier two and tier three audiences, we showed them the drama, like carousals rather than the more edgy, originals. So that was Facebook. Twitter. Primarily, so we actually launched a huge activity, which is a wanting activity. We basically said, what are your wanting moments? So we shared the brand, like TVC on Twitter, pushed it, and we asked people, what are your wanting moments? With this activity, we did we trended for over 7 hours in India. 62 million plus potential impressions, 10 plus million people reached in a period of 7 hours. Uh, so Twitter is also primarily about hashtag seeding. We drove about driving a lot of conversations. So we use different kinds of creators. So if you see one of the creator like creative here is says Voot, but it's not the regular brand or the logo which is there. People seem to connect to these things. People the young people that are on like Twitter, they like when brands explore and go beyond the normal. We did these kind of meme, that moment when you're on a diet and someone says, like cupcakes, which brings me to another challenge that we had of differentiating from network. Now, guys, this is actually an important one because Voot did not want to, as I've mentioned before, Voot did not want to become a brand which would, which is just secondary to the other big brands in the network. When Color speaks about Nagin, or when Color speaks about Big Boss, it speaks about these shows in a very different way, in a very let's say in a very different, like in a very regular GC way. Woot wanted to be different. We wanted to have a different, like tone of voice. We wanted to differentiate ourselves from those big brands. So what did we do is here. Um, yeah, on the network, this is how. So can you guys see the Big Boss creative that's there? This is how like Colors has the Big Boss logo. This is how they make changes to the logo, right? And this is how we kind of when we spoke about Big Boss for the first time, this is how we did it. So it's different, it's clean, it's minimalist, it's uncluttered, and it delivers the message. Does that kind of make sense? Because there's so much clutter on social. If you're not clean, if you're not minimalist, if you're not different, then you'll end up people just kind of go on their timeline. They keep thumbing on the timeline, and they will just miss it if they don't see something which they haven't seen before. So these are the kind of creatives that he made. So another example, this is how Motu Patlu is being spoken about. This is what's the normal definition or the normal creatives of Motu Patlu are. This is how we spoke about Motu Patlu. This is how we, rendered Motu Patlu. Now, can you guess which one is this? Can anyone guess this one? Ye kaun sa hai? What are we talking about? So this is the Voot creative for a show which is there on MTV, let's say. Exactly. So see, exactly, yeah. MTV Coke Studio guys. So you guys can see that it's a very different, rendering of Coke Studio. But as soon as somebody sees it, they know it's Coke Studio. Does that kind of make sense? What are you guys able to see this difference in the creative? Yeah. Again, any guesses? You guys are experts now. Which one is this? Yeah, it's a movie, yes. But what movie is this? Any? Okay. Yeah. So you guys know it. Now, nowhere, Viacom made, so, the motion pictures, never showed gangs of Wasipur like this. We went live with this creative on Instagram and like Twitter, asking what is this, and everybody instantly understood it. But like it's a very very different rendering of a smarter rendering of maybe gangs of Wasipur. So you're saying the same thing in a different way, right? So that kind of brings us to the end of social. So we are coming to CRM part or the ORM part now. How did we? So we did ORM a little bit differently. We didn't want to. So ORM is about online relationship management. When you guys buy something from Amazon or Flipkart, and it doesn't arrive, you guys go on Twitter and write to them saying, hey, this is what's happening, and the team who kind of replies back, usually it's a drab, dry kind of response, like a text response that like that comes back. We said, hey, you know what? Let's not just do text, but also do images. Like the first creative here says like wish list. So whenever we got any feedback for the product that hey, you guys should do this, we kind of responded back with, hey, sure, receive your feedback. We're going to take your wish list to our like tech team. Whenever there were some issues which we kind of forwarded to our tech team, we didn't just say, hey, like in a text format that we are working on it. We kind of made a cool like creative around that. So it just made ORM, it just made for people, it just made interaction with the brand more lively. So we actually, what we did was we went ahead and we created some 100 odd different images for different kinds of responses that we might get uh, from people. And then whenever a particular kind of response came, we selected one of these and kind of responded with that. At one point we were getting retweets on these responses from people because of this. Again, we don't answer our support like queries from the Voot handle, because it kind of like clogs the Twitter timeline. We created a different handle which is Voot support, which whenever somebody tags Voot and says something, the reply is sent by Voot support. It's a little more, although it takes a little more work, it's a little more complicated to do. But then what it does is that it never, so like your timeline, your brand timeline will never be clogged with replies, with Voot replies, because of this. So probably like just a better idea to do customer support. Uh, and with that, I think we are at the end of the this thing. Just for those of you who will, so these are just want to just share a couple of things that I keep hearing across the floor. For some of you, it will probably make sense. For some of you, it will not make sense. So I'm kind of going ahead and sharing it still. I hear this a lot.